You ever drive up to a place so shiny, so picture perfect, you can almost smell the fresh-cut grass through the windows? That was Willow Creek for Maya, the kind of neighborhood where the mailboxes practically wear little tuxedos and the air hums with this quiet, smug exclusivity, like everyone's in on a secret club and the initiation fee is just being born into it. Anyway, I pulled up to those iron gates in my old gray SUV. Nothing flashy, just a car that gets you from A to B. You know what I mean? I wasn't there to cause trouble or chase anybody's dream. I just wanted to check out this house on Maple Lane I'd seen online, thought maybe it'd make a good investment. Maybe even a place to land for a while, though folks around here didn't seem like the type to welcome a new neighbor unless you rolled up in a Bentley. As I reached for my phone to double-check the address, out comes this guard, Carl mid-50s, built like a linebacker, with these wraparound sunglasses that told you he'd seen a few too many episodes of Cops. He walks up, taps the window a little harder than necessary, like he's tapping out a warning in Morse code. I roll it down, give him a nod, trying to be friendly. "Can I help you?" he says, his tone sharp enough to slice bread. "You lost." Now, I've been around the block enough times to know that Tony, it ain't about being helpful. It's about checking if you belong. I tell him I'm just here to see a listing on Maple Lane. Got the address right here. Figured it was open to the public. He doesn't budge. "Got an appointment?" "Not exactly, but I talked to the agent." "Then you need to leave," he says, arms crossed, shutting that door before it was ever open. Another guard steps out of the booth, just in case, like I'm about to cause a scene. I try to call the agent, but Carl just shakes his head, "Turn around." Now, man, let me tell you, it wasn't about rules. I could feel it deep in my chest. It was about judgment. I wasn't wearing the right shoes, didn't have the right watch, didn't look the part, whatever that even means. So I nod, keep it cool, roll up the window, and drive away. But, that kind of thing, it stays with you. I've been in plenty of boardrooms, made more money than most of these people will see in a lifetime, but standing there at those gates, being treated like an outsider just because I didn't look expensive enough, it burns. Maybe not fear, just that old, familiar sting of being dismissed before anyone even asks your name. Now, I could have let it go, right? Could have found another neighborhood, another deal. But something about Willow Creek, the way they locked up their little world, made me want to dig in. A couple days later, I started getting to work, but not the way they expected. See, what most folks don't realize is every HOA, every perfect little community, runs on money mortgages, infrastructure loans, commercial liens. And I have a knack for reading between the lines. Horizon Capital Thats, my company, started buying up the loans behind a handful of parcels, snapped up some overdue debt on the HOA's own office building, even a few empty lots, all legal, all quiet. Took less than a week before the email started hitting the board's inbox. Horizon Capital now owns interest in this and that, and suddenly all their precious control started to slip through their fingers. They called an emergency meeting, faces pale, voices tight, shuffling through contracts looking for loopholes. And that's when I walked in. No knock, no announcement, just Metalord's suit, folder of papers in hand, nothing to prove. The room went dead quiet. I laid it out for them. Firm owns the majority of the land rights, the roads, the lighting, the parking, the office. If you want to keep your gates humming and your fountains bubbling, you go through me. I caught Carl's eye from across the room, was standing stiff by the window, probably wishing he'd called in sick that day. I kept my voice low, steady. "I came here to buy a home. I followed your rules, and you threw me out. I'm not here for revenge, but I am here to make a point." You could feel the balance of power shifting, their safe little world upended in a single afternoon. They didn't go quietly. Not for a second. Carl and his crew started whispering rebellion, old guard rallying around their golf carts like it was D-Day. The board lawyered up, tried to block the acquisitions, sent out panicked newsletters about outside threats. But everything my team did was airtight, legal down to the last semicolon. Before long, a shareholder vote dissolved the old HOA board. Brand new signs went up at the gates, under new management, Horizon Capital. Carl's security detail got replaced by folks who knew how to smile, how to help an elderly neighbor with groceries instead of giving them the third degree. Funny thing is, the changes came fast, but they didn't all look the same. Some folks hated it hot the world was ending because the new guard waved to kids or said hi to the dog walkers. But others, especially younger families, saw hope. We held open meetings, real ones, where people could actually talk. The old Willow Club became a learning center, its chandelier lighting up books and laughter instead of just cocktails and exclusive events. For the first time, kids from outside the gates came in on buses, filled the courtyards with life. Slowly, you could see diversity, not just in skin color, but in ideas, in the way people treated each other. Willow Creek started to breathe. Not everyone was happy. Carl especially held on to that old pride like it was a life preserver. Then, one morning, he finds an envelope in his mailbox, contract terminated, signed by me. But there's a note inside. If you want to talk, I'll listen. He shows up at the clubhouse, finds me in jeans and rolled sleeve Ethno suit. No swagger. I tell him I'm not angry. You reminded me what it feels like to be shut out, I say. That's why I'm here, not to punish, but to build something better. Carl just nods, jaw tight, doesn't say much. No handshake, no grudges, just a man realizing the world changed, and maybe it's time he did too. A year goes by and Willow Creek is a different place. The gates swing open during the day, no longer a moat to keep the world out. I walk down Maple Lane, just another neighbor, waving at Nathan and Leia, a teacher and an artist who won the housing lottery we set up for folks trying to make a difference. Kids on bikes yell my name. Old man Harris waves from his porch. No more whispers behind curtains. I stop under the same oak tree where Carl sent me packing, and it hits meth pain's gone, replaced by something like pride. Not because I won, but because this neighborhood, for all its flaws, finally feels real. People talk about it now not as some revenge fantasy, but as proof that power can build bridges if you use it right. I didn't fight my way in so I could belong. I opened the gates so everyone could. That's the real legacy. But, hey, I gotta ask, what would you have done? Was taking over the neighborhood bold justice, or just too much? Let me know what you think. Where's the line between setting things right and going too far? Drop a comment. Tell me if Willow Creek got what it deserved, and don't forget, like and share if this story got you thinking, because there's plenty more where this came from.